Hey, Carl Lanning from Brazos River Charter School with the September 22nd through 28th installment of This Week in History. Well, let's see, this week in history, some of the big events are, on this day, or actually September 22nd, 1776, Nathan Hale regretted that he had but one life to lose for his country. At the age of 21, Nathan Hale volunteered to be a spy for George Washington. He volunteered to go behind British lines in the city of New York to figure out what was going on. He was undoubtedly a very, very brave young man because he knew exactly what the punishment for spying would be would he have been caught. Unfortunately, he was not a very good spy. His spy career lasted a grand total of 10 days, and he was hanged by the British. Now, they did report that he comported himself very bravely at the hanging, and that he said something impressive was the word that came up. But exactly what he said, nobody really knows. So I say let him have it. He only had one life to lose for his country, and he regretted it. Let's see, also on September 22nd, but in 1862, President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation freed all slaves in Confederate territory that was then in Union Army hands. It is the only known document in which he signed his full name, Abraham Lincoln. His usual signature was simply A. Lincoln, as you might see right there. He really disliked his first name. No one called him by it. His friends just usually referred to him as Lincoln. And on September 26th, 1774, is the birthday of John Chapman, aka Johnny Appleseed. He spent 40 years roaming Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, planting apple trees from seed. You see, this was the key to his business plan because the man did have a plan. Apples planted from seed are almost always pollinated by and become crab apples. Now, crab apples are not exactly great for eating, but they are fantastic for making hard cider, or applejack as it was called at the time. An apple orchard was also handy in establishing a land claim under the laws of the time. What Johnny would do is, there was a large westward movement into the states I mentioned earlier. He would try to kind of get out ahead of the crowd, figure out where they were going, make a land claim, plant an orchard. Then when the people started to arrive, he would sell off part of the land and keep the orchard. Eventually, he had a circuit of orchards that he would visit throughout these states where he would harvest the apples and sell them to hard cider makers. He died a wealthy man of 70 years and owned about 1,200 acres of land at one point in his life. He was also somewhat of a religious zealot, more than likely. He did wear rags and a tin pot hat, that was reported. He was a vegetarian, he was almost certainly celibate, and he never rode a horse because he believed that was animal cruelty, only traveled by foot or by canoe. All of which, plus the apple business, he believed was God's will as revealed to him. Sadly, most of the apple orchards that Mr. Appleseed planted were destroyed during Prohibition by the feds to prevent people from doing exactly what Johnny intended that they should do. Well, those are the major events for the week of September 22nd through 28th. I'm Carl Lanning from Brazos River Charter School, and we hope to see you here again next week.